Welcome everybody to Bubbles with Bethany. I'm so excited this week. There's so much amazing stuff that we're going to get to talk about today. And this is a first for us at Bubbles with Bethany because we have not one, but two amazing guests to talk about wealth consciousness today. And I am really, really excited to introduce Jackson Campbell and Nico Henderson to Bubbles with Bethany. Cheers to you guys. Thank you for being an esteemed guest. Some bubbles.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, well, it's a lot of pineapple juice. Okay. So
Are you drinking on my side?
It's a health tonic. I'm not drinking alcohol right now. So it is kombucha with pineapple and soda. Like seltzer.
Yeah.
Water. So yes. Okay. So I want to talk about so many things with you guys, and I feel like I never get enough time with you, but you guys just launched a brand new company. I'm going to ask my regular two questions that I always ask. We will get to that, and you all will get to ask your questions as well. But as always, I get to go first because I get to. Yeah. So you guys just launched Black Sail Capital, which that awesome logo right behind you, and you just got into it, got after it. Can we talk about that for a second? Like, tell me about the birthing of Black Sail Capital.
Ooh, good question.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
it may feel like we just got into it, but I feel like we planned it for a year before. I almost feel like we took a long time before we, I guess, presented and blossomed ourselves to the world. We kind of worked through the mud, kind of similar to a lotus, and figured out, one, if we could be suitable partners. There's 4 of us in Black Sail Capital. So one, just kind of seeing where our goals are, our visions are, morals, etc. And that was like almost a quarter of just doing that, making sure we'd be suitable partners. And then our core values, our mission. So it may feel like we launched really quickly out in the world, but I almost feel like we were pretty slow to the game.
Yeah, we've been working on it. I mean, anybody that's built something kind of understands that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes before you start moving forward, right? And that we actually kind of just passed a year when we decided that we wanted to get together and do this. So we've been working on this for a year with Black Sail Capital. So it's been, I love her analogy with the mud and the lotus.
But the birthing of it came from, okay, we really want to start investing in real estate. We all work within the sphere already. But what beckons us? We worked in multifamily for a couple years together. And that, while that is an amazing asset class, it didn't fully draw us. We really liked creating experiences for people and just people in general. And boutique hotels kept popping up and retreats kept popping up. I mean, personally, I help plan retreats with people, different event groups. So that's always kind of been in my sphere. But to own a retreat facility has always been a big dream of mine. So as we were in our dreaming phase, we were dreaming really big together because there's 4 of us. So I believe we can do anything together. That just kept coming up. It was listening to our souls, what kept knocking at our soul door, and dreaming, which is a really like luscious part. Some people get overwhelmed in the dreaming phase, I think, but I think it's truly delectable.
Yeah, there was a lot of thought that went into it, and a lot of inspiration actually pulled from you, Bethany. At least for me on my side, I was lucky enough to go to your Be Wealthy, Wealth Conscious retreat. I can't remember the exact name of it. Correct me. What's the exact name of it?
It was B to the power of E, just because that's the name of the company, but it was a wealth consciousness retreat. That's exactly right.
It was amazing. And that really, I think a lot of seeds were planted in that weekend that I didn't really realize what real estate could do in the sphere of helping people and doing things just outside of the regular, just a place to live. Right. And it really, I came back from that just really fired up.
Yeah,
the possibilities.
Invigorated.
Yeah, the possibilities really.
Sincerely, you refreshed his soul during that, because I feel like you were kind of in a stagnant part of your life, or it was just a job.
Yeah,
but totally. Then when you went to hers, you came back and there was more of a clear purpose of what you wanted. And more creativity, I think, which is what you were seeking.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
love
Bethany has
that.
that effect on people. She
Oh, shit.
reinvigorates souls. That's what she does.
Aw.
Yeah.
It just feeds my soul. Well, and that is my soul's purpose, right? So that's exactly what we want people to get out of our retreats, is that kind of inspiration and whatever shift that they need at that moment in their lives. And I tell you, Jackson, you could probably go to that exact same retreat with those exact same people right now and get something totally different out of it, which is why I love this. This is why I want to just keep doing it over and over and over.
It was just it was just so timely for me at that time for what I needed. I was able to receive what I needed, right? It's like, because if I went now, I might need something different, but you created a
safe space
to be able to receive what it is that I needed to receive at that time. And it was, beautiful,
I-
and what I learned there is that I could really tap into that anytime. I don't need a special place to be able to do that,
Right.
but it was nice to learn how to do that with you. Yes. So that's really invigorated. Like Nico,
I think that's what even inspired your 90 days raw vegan.
it did actually.
But like,
That's
It did.
right. I remember I saw you. Yes. Yes,
It did. Yeah.
that's right. It did not send me vegan, but it when you learn that you can have someone prepare food for you that's that good, I could be vegan if she was cooking for me all the time, for sure.
That's the dream. That's the dream for sure.
Yeah.
She was amazing. Yeah.
Well, I want to take a second to congratulate you and just recognize the fact, okay, so you're speaking my language, because I don't know how many times I have said, like, the most important part of getting into these businesses is do your diligence on your partners. Make sure you define what is your purpose, define what's your lane, define what lights you up and what you're amazing at and all the things. And you took the time and the energy, because it's a lot, and put that into practice and actually did it. And I love that so much, because I can't tell you how many people do just pop up overnight, like with whatever warm bodies next to them going, yeah, sure, I'll do that. Right. And I give you guys so much credit, because I think that's such a sustainable approach. The only sustainable approach really is to have done that first up front, to make sure that you're all aligned with the vision and the morals and the goals and the ethos and all the things. Do that first, because now you're set up for success, because now anything, you guys can weather anything that comes at you, and shit will come at you. It just will.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
so I'm
no.
super excited that you guys took the time to do that, because that's such an important step that so many people skip.
well, I'd like to say we learned that from you.
I mean, I'd like to hear that.
I will genuinely, sincerely say that we took it to heart watching all of your fun reels. We're like, okay, this is serious. Like, yeah, we're all friends, but can we be business partners?
Yeah, and you're right. It's just a different flavor, right? Okay, so you guys, so I want to ask the questions, because that's part of what you had to ask each other, I think, to figure out. There are 4 of you. It wouldn't make sense for all 4 of you to do the exact same things, because then there's, you've got more redundancy than you probably need, and then you have some gaps. So, and if you want, I know Strat's in the room, and if you guys want to tell me, what is your unique superpower? Like, how did you guys come to this? Like, this is your role, that's your role, because you have unique superpowers. What are they?
I love that's how she framed
Same.
it. Do you want to take it?
No, you go first.
Okay. I love that how you framed this. Do you want to know one superpower that we all kind of have that kind
That's
of,
what I thought she was.
that's how I'm going to explain it.
Okay.
Because
yeah.
we have, I think the 4 of us, I know the 4 of us, we have such just like a spirit of collaboration about us, that any of us can wear any hat at any time. So that's really, I think,
It's like where the inspiration draws from.
Yeah. And just trusting in each other to be able to do that and follow those instincts that you have, and those moments of motivation, inspiration that you have. I think that's one superpower that we all have, is trust in each other to be able to just run down those lanes as we feel inspired. Yeah. I don't know if that answers.
I
Yeah.
would say that. I think another thing that we have as a group superpower is we sincerely care about the experiences of others. We've all grown up with maybe different backgrounds with trials and tribulations where we've been taken care of by some of those earth angels. So to be a conduit of safety, of divine love, of peace, of serenity, I think really means a lot to us. So I think, in short, one of our superpowers is perspective, seeing other dynamic perspectives without our bias and judgment, and like that you instinctually get. We could be an observer of those biases and judgments. But I mean, if you wanted to dive in individually what our super skills are, I would think mine might be connecting with people and authentically listening, being an active listener, which makes me a really good communicator with individuals, and I sincerely care about others. Something that I practice, and it was taught to me by one of my best friends that passed away. He would ask me how I was doing, and if I gave him kind of a laissez-faire answer, like I'm good, I'm fine, he would re-ask me again and look me in my eyes. So anyone that I interact with, I'm gonna ask you how you're doing and sincerely ask you with an open heart. And if you kind of give me like a general answer, I'll probably ask you again, because I want you to dive deep into your present moment, your physical vessel, mind, body, and spirit, and give me a truthful answer, because we're in a safe space. Like, I just want to be there for you as a human.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, such a good answer for you, Nico. She explained that so well. Nico is a unicorn. She's a very special, different type of person. But that was a great answer. I know you don't necessarily love talking about yourself, but that was such a good answer, because you really
It was a good answer. It was a really good answer. And then how about you individually, Jackson?
I see my superpower is like I serve blindly. Like I just love to serve people and help things that I feel drawn to. I'm a very emotional person and I say that in the best way possible. I follow my intuition, I follow my gut, and that served me really well. But I do that from a service mentality where I just love to help and serve people.
You put others before you.
Yeah, I don't know if that would necessarily be a superpower, because you got to fill your cup before you can fill others' cups, right?
So for sure will drop.
Definitely.
If I'm like, Jackson, I need your help moving my house right now.
I would be there.
You would drop anything you had in that moment.
For sure. Yeah, so that's a superpower of mine. I love to help and just be there for people.
I'd be so curious to know, have either of you taken the Enneagram test?
I've taken the disc test.
No.
Is it the color one or the number one?
The number one. So Enneagram it's a little more personal than DISC. This is really valuable, I think, in a business setting or an employment setting. And Enneagram is a little bit more interpersonal. Oh, she's already ready. Jade's already ready with it. She loves it.
Thank you.
So there, I'm gonna take
copy and paste. Excuse me.
Yeah, copy paste it. And I highly recommend. It's really great for personal insights, to know what you are, and then to know how you're going to show up for other people. So Jackson, the reason I asked that is because I'm a 2, and it sounds like you might be a 2, which is the helper. And which is really great until it's not, meaning like if you're healthy.
Well, teach me so I don't get to the it's not part.
People pleasing is the biggest downside to this. Yeah. But if you're balanced, right? Like you can fill your cup, like you said, Jackson, like you're good.
Yeah. If you're in your healthy, if you're showing up as your healthiest self, then that's great. That you're taking care of yourself. You can still be a helper without sacrificing yourself. But that's what it sounds like to me, which I think is
that's the battle. That's the battle, right? That's the battle I have. Is that exactly right there?
Yeah.
I guess with every superpower comes its kryptonite, right? Or like it's like negative a little bit to it. That's
there's always
dichotomy of life.
Yeah, that's right. There's always 2 sides to it, and there's always what is it, Susan? The disintegrated self is what is the people pleasing or the sacrificing yourself to your own detriment. Not filling your cup is exactly right. But when you're the healthy self, I mean, all of them are really great in the healthiest self, right? I guess because it's just interesting to see how you naturally want to show up. And then you can kind of figure out how to work with each other as a group to know, okay, this is how he shows up. And I know if he's doing this, then maybe he's giving too much. And so I know when I can balance myself, and you can kind of regulate yourself in relation to the people that you care about. And so I think it's just interesting to know.
Nico would be a fun one to study.
What's that?
Nico would be a fun one because
like
she's an empath, like for sure. You could see
yeah.
that, but
I didn't get two energy.
No, so she might be like a 4, like that is
unicorn. I'm telling you, there's no number for Nico.
She's all of them.
One of my friends was really into numerology, and it's funny you guys are throwing out two, because I don't know how she did the numerology. I think it was based off your birthday and something else, but I was the 2.
Okay.
Which is funny, but I will take the test, and I will let everybody know what I am.
You're a 10, it says.
That's funny because there's not a 10, so she made one up for you. Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Its own special category just for Nico.
I break the system. They're like, it glitches. I take the test.
Oh, Nico's an 11 for strat.
Oh, that's my husband. That's
I
would expect that answer. Good job.
That's a good answer. I love it. Okay, so I want to stop really quickly before we go on to the next question, because Carrie, you had a question and I want to make sure I have the right context. So, are you talking about their active deal right now, Carrie? That they have? Yes. Okay. You guys want to take a minute before we go into the next question to talk about your active deal?
What was his question? I missed it.
We're going up to it.
How much have you raised and for what goal? And then can you give the basics on the underwriting of the deal, ROI, IRR, exit plan, hold period? So basically just give a brief synopsis of your deal, if you want to take a minute to do that.
Yeah, we haven't raised for this deal yet. We've raised for previous deals before as a collective. So I don't know what I can say, especially in compliance there, but the basics underwriting, do you want to help take that there?
We're still dialing in like this really specifics to the ROI, the IRR specifically, but the property that we're looking at right now already has a 17% cash on cash. It's already a cash flowing property. So what we're looking to do is come in, maximize operations, and then we have some additional things that we want to do in the business plan a year down the road.
So it's in Costa Rica, and the operations you're talking about is they kind of lack marketing, and they lack also even booking with
Their
them.
booking process isn't really great. There's a lot of value add to be added.
Technology and marketing would be what we really hound down there.
Yeah.
Is this a boutique? Yes. Yeah. It is.
Right now it's a boutique hostel, which is interesting. So we want to take it from hostel to hotel, which would be taking some of those digital nomadic rooms and making them into little villas or separate rooms.
It's a hostel boutique. Yeah, because there's private rooms too.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Actually,
it's a really cool property.
I found the deal when I was 10 in Costa Rica. I got to live there on and off since I was 10. And it used to be just a surf rental spot. And I would go there just to rent a surfboard and hang out. The culture was like a cafe surf rental, but a little hole in the wall in Santa Teresa, Costa Rica. And then each time I went back, it kept growing and growing. And they grew into a hostel eventually. So it's 3 brothers that owned it, and they were DJs. And they wanted to make like a hostel party scene. And so with our boutique hotel design, we want to create it to personal development, prime for health and wellness. And with their sound ordinance that they have, it works in favor for our dream versus the 3 DJs. But I don't know if you want to tap on there at all.
Yeah, that was beautiful. What was the other one? What is the development in Costa?
What's it like to develop?
Oh, what's it like?
Yeah, no, not a lot of red tape, actually. You have to work with an attorney. So someone like Bethany and your broker. In addition, the construction costs are a fraction of what they are in the US. I want to say it's like 40% more affordable. I could find that data for you, Carrie, and send it directly to you. But not a lot of red tape. The biggest thing you have to be concerned about down in Costa Rica is the maritime zone, which isn't at a lot of properties. You have to be 200 feet away from the ocean. So still lots of coastal properties at a very affordable affordable price, sorry.
Yeah. And we talk about, like, I just kind of want to go back to the, how did you find the deal? I think it's such a good question, especially for Bethany's group and the conscious wealth. Nico's been manifesting she wanted that property since she was 9. It's kind of an incredible thing that she stayed in contact with the owners and the people down there, and it came up, and we called the GM that's like one of Nico's really good friends, and we got the inside scoop really quick, and it's incredible. So I just wanted to throw that out there on how we found
the last time we were out there, I was like, if you guys ever sell, let us know, and they let us know.
That's so great. I love that so much.
Yeah, it's like one of those pinch me moments. I think when I told my dad, we were both just speechless on the phone for a second, just like, what? Super full circle moment where we were like, this is literally what we talk about in our car, just dreaming, just daydreaming.
Yeah.
It's amazing. A couple more questions. Are we partnering with anyone else at this point? We're still kind of setting that up. We're actually going to do a fund to fund with Bethany, and that property will be within that fund to fund, which we're really excited about. But yeah, we'll definitely be needing investors on it as well. So we'll keep you posted as that becomes more easily available and accessible for sure. How much do you own equity in the deal? Go ahead on that one. I'm not really sure how to answer that one.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, Carrie. We don't have it yet.
Not quite.
But we would like to, we want to do a seller finance with them just because I do have that really good relationship with them, and they're pretty particular about who they want to be a steward of that vision, just because for them, this vision helped get their mom out of working so hard. She was a single mom. So it's a pretty big, it's like their baby they're passing on to someone, to a steward.
The fund, so thank you for kind of clarifying your question there. What equity position will you have when the deal closes? We're looking to set it up for the fund to have the whole equity piece there is in the fund to fund. If I'm correct on that, I believe I'm correct on that. But we want the fund to fund.
And Carrie, I've talked to them about this deal too. Since they don't know who they're partnering with yet, I don't think they know yet. Right. So it's the underwriting is still ongoing. And so it's going to really be what gets the investors the return that they're looking to, projected return they're trying to get. And then usually how it works, and Carrie, you probably already know this, so I forgive me if I'm saying things you already know, but how it works is when you do the underwriting, you're like, okay, we think our investor pool needs X% annualized return. And to do that, we need this pref with this split. And you kind of start with an 8 pref and an 80-20, and you just massage it until it gets you where you think you need to be. So yeah, that's still in progress. I'm sorry, I'm like telling you.
No, thank you for coming in. That's
we just had a call about this, so it's like fresh in my mind.
Mama Bethany coming in.
We did just have a call about this, yes. So no, thank you. Good questions though. Carrie, would love to like link up with you and chat with you more about it. If you're interested to hear more about the deal, we'd love to chat with you about it for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, Carrie. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I love it. If you guys want to drop in their Instagram, their Instagram handle is right at the beginning of this chat, but to get them, Strat will put in the chat. And by the way, I just jumped right into it because I was so excited. You guys are always welcome to network in the chat. I would like you to pay attention to our guests, of course, and what they have to say, but this is like, get what you need out of this. So if you want to put your contact in the chat or whatever, we don't want to get obnoxiously selling, so please maybe no MLMs in the chat, but if you want to network and connect with each other in the chat, it'd be great. I love that.
Awesome.
I want you to get out of this what you need.
Yeah, look forward to connecting, Carrie. Thanks.
Same. Good questions.
Awesome. Very good. Okay, so I want to shift gears a little bit because you mentioned this a couple times, Jackson, about with this, how Nico manifested this, and I really want to hear you. I know you've heard me say this over and over because you're here every week, and I just love that so much. is I always want to know what conscious wealth means to people, because it is one of my passions to help people create conscious wealth. And in order to do that, I want to have sort of a universe of ideas of what that means to people that are in my sphere. I know what it means to me, but I find that it's sort of different for everybody. And so helping someone create that and achieve that, it's good to know, what does that even mean to you? So I like each of you to answer for yourselves what conscious wealth means to you.
Yeah, go ahead, Nico.
Well, wealth has traditionally been about material accumulation, maybe your 401ks, the money in your bank account, or even the home you purchase. But I believe conscious wealth is when you step beyond that definition and look a little bit more holistically and factor in different components such as your physical health, your career satisfaction, if your relationships are reciprocal and nourishing, the amount of impact you're having in your community and in the world, your spiritual capital, your intellectual growth, your emotional well-being. I think these are the broader definitions I refer to as conscious wealth, because someone could be worth $50 million, but they might be a stranger to their family because they're so stressed out and working nonstop, or they have to take sleeping pills to go to sleep at night. So just because they're worth 50 million, does that mean they're actually wealthy? So conscious wealth looks at this broader picture of what wealth should truly be. I think that comes from when someone has this aha moment, they take a step back, take a deep breath of the fresh air outside, pause, ask themselves, am I really living in my bliss, or do I maybe need to redirect my focuses or my energy elsewhere? And then I've seen it happen once they make that shift and trust the surrender process, trust that leap into the abyss, then all of a sudden things could really start fall into alignment. People might make major career changes, and with that career change, their stress levels go down. As their stress levels go down, their health improves. As their health improves and their stress goes down, they have space for more fulfilling relationships, and it can also show up as a better partner or as a better friend in life. But as they have more time in harmony, you create more space to think about ways you can probably give back to your community or give back to this world. So it's an absolute domino effect between all these dimensions that I define as conscious wealth. And they all seem to conspire in someone's favor towards validating or justifying your step away from that prior path, but your step into what is truly in alignment with your highest and best self and who you want to be. So in short, conscious wealth is living in alignment with your bliss, with your values, while being rooted in radical transparency, which is being raw with yourself, being super vulnerable with yourself, which can be actually quite terrifying for whatever reason. But then there's also a very spiritual framework with, I think, around money and creating wealth. I think to create wealth nowadays, it's creating value for others. When you're leveraging your gifts by being in full expression to this world with your just full expression in your own unique way, and money will be a byproduct of that. Instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I need to make X amount of money, what job will pay me that way? It's because that will lead to burnout. Like that type of thinking is going to lead to burnout, and it's not coming from an authentic space. So the spiritual connection is fueled from an authentic space. It's in service to others. It's about recognizing your job is to be in full expression of your gifts into this world. And if you do that, then money will be the byproduct in tenfolds. So how does this tie into your life purpose? Well, a lot of people can make money just being driven by wealth, just that alone. But after a certain point, you make enough money, then what? What's really cool about conscious wealth is instead of thinking about your return on money, it's important to reflect on your return on purpose, returning to your heart chakra, what lights you up, what makes you really happy. So what type of return are you getting with the purpose that's within your soul that's been knocking the whole time? that's been very loud and clear. Maybe you just been ignoring it or you have blinders on, but really what matters is what's calling your soul. And something that I ask myself, because yeah, we're all looking to generate wealth too, so we have time freedom. So something that I ask myself to stay in line with those is, what are my dynamic assets that can be leveraged to build more value and more bliss in my life, but also impact and positively impact others? And that's what kind of helps trigger me back to what I need to do, which is what I am doing with Black Sale, is creating these real estate spaces primed for health and wellness and personal development, because I personally came from an unsafe home, not vibrant, not safe. So I want to create that for others.
So good.
I love that so much.
I definitely should have went first. That was so beautifully said. That was incredible. Yeah, super lucky to have Nico as a partner and be able to listen to her wax like that on the regulars. Incredible. No, that's such a good response. Do you have any comments before I go into my answer? I don't even know what to say.
No, I love it. You need a therapy podcast. So yes, I think you should actually just do like almost like lullaby podcasts for people to go to sleep to,
Deal.
just like,
For you guys, I will.
Oh,
So just
do
you practice Reiki?
I listen to the Nico energy before I go to sleep at night.
Do you practice Reiki? You seem like an energy healer. Like you're by the way, like no one I've ever met in this space before. Like that, because I hear a lot of Zen from you. I hear a lot of step behind your feelings and actions and observe, like non-judgmentally. I hear a lot of energy healing. This is some serious vibration.
I gotta give a lot of kudos to my dad. With his healing, he was in AA. He got sober when I was 3. My mom is still a meth addict, so I grew up in NA and AA, which is rooms where it's full of non-judgment. They're really, you can be as ugly as you need to be, and you're in a very accepting room. So I think part of that has to do with that, where I'm just gonna try to see the light within you, no matter what. I think everyone has a dynamic beauty to them, and I try to see that.
It's really interesting because like when you have that power to do that, because that's something I practice every day actually, because you get that you step outside of your ego, right? So it allows you to really see things for what they are. Yeah, exactly. Being the observer. All right, I like that. I'm gonna start doing that. But I do want to hear. I'm gonna ask a question after, because I do want to hear Jackson's answer. But I want to hear how you practice growth mindset. That's like the number one question I always ask, and it's clear that you do. Like you just like exude it. I think your whole team does.
Wow, dude, that's such a compliment. That's awesome.
I'm starstruck. I think I just fail a lot. And I realize that I fail a lot, and will notice it with all my team members and be like, well, that didn't work. I failed miserably. Let's learn you grow. That. But I probably go into things like a bowl in a china shop more often than not, but also trying to be considerate of others.
Yeah, you're extremely considerate for sure. For me, well, what is it? Wealth consciousness. That's what we're answering, right?
Yes.
To me, when you when I read that and when I hear that, you have it's very. We didn't talk about our answers prior to as well, and I'm not trying to copy what Nico is saying, but for me, you really truly have to define what wealth is to you in order to have a consciousness about your wealth. You have to know what wealth means to you and really truly define that. Is that making a bunch of money? Then that's what it is for you. You just really truly have to define what that wealth is, and then your actions, your words, your thoughts all have to be in line with that. That's truly what I believe wealth consciousness is, and that's how you create long-lasting wealth that you can be proud of as well. Is surrendering to that. Following those I'm probably over speaking now, but again, follow wealth consciousness, defining your wealth, and then making sure your actions, your thoughts, your words are in line with exactly what you define wealth is. when it comes to creating wealth, making money.
How have you stayed in line with that? Because it can change. Your definition can change. I feel like yours has drastically changed.
Yeah, it's definitely something you have to check in with. Like, what does wealth mean to you? I think for a long time, I didn't define what wealth meant to me. I think I just took the generic version of wealth meant making a lot of money. And I was going to do whatever it took to make a lot of money, because what making a lot of money meant to me was then I'd be able to take care of my beautiful wife, my lifestyle, my family, and do those things. That's what I thought wealth would provide for me, which it did, but not in the way that I wanted it to. I know that kind of sounds like you can't have your pie and eat it too or whatever, but yeah, you can. You know what I mean? I believe that's yeah. I don't know if that makes sense. Probably.
It does. It makes perfect sense, because I think as people, you mentioned it, Nico, when you were speaking, which is you could have 50 million, 100 million, $1 billion, but if you're miserable in your core, what does that buy you? And I know,
Right.
there's that adage of like money can't buy happiness. I mean, it can make it a lot easier to be happy.
You've never seen anybody frown on a jet ski.
Right. That's right. So, I mean,
Simple math.
but however, if you're miserable, you can't buy your way out of just being a miserable human being. So,
Right.
Being conscious about what it is that drives you, getting money at all costs might not be the way to be proud of how you generated that wealth. And that might not sit well with your soul. And so, I know a lot of people that have amassed a whole bunch of money and they did it in not such nice ways. I mean, we all know of a lot of people who did that, right? And it's sort of like, you can't buy your way out of that. Right.
No.
And so, and I think if you're really aligned with your purpose, that you'll find you don't need as much money as maybe you thought you did if you were doing it at all costs.